So, the truck's rolling. And mute the stream. Okay, good evening everybody. My name is Ose. This is European Truck Simulator. I'm with God of Thunder at the moment, and we are about to head out from Warsaw, to see the world. You want to say hi? Okay. I need to... Okay, why isn't... Okay, that worked. There we go. Right. So my truck is able to move, and we need to pick a job. Hi, Swaggerfish. Right, job market. External contracts. See if we can find a place to Dresden.
Where?
Dresden. Don't think I'm finding one. Okay. Germany is D. See, that's a long way away. And I have Hamburg. That's a long way over into Germany. You want to go to Hamburg? Okay. Actually, I've got a couple. So I'm going to take the empty barrels.
I have like the low boy.
Right. I am not sure whether that will kick you out of multiplayer. Some of those aren't supported in multiplayer.
I hear you just fine. The other guy I can't really hear.
Okay.
I can tell he's talking, but I can't really hear.
Keep talking.
Got a regular box trailer.
That's getting better.
Keep talking.
1, 2, check. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to get your levels right for the stream. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yep, you're good. Okay, we've got the sound levels okay. And good evening, VH Trucking. Hail. Arthur ended his stream because he was going out with Simone at 8 o'clock. So as soon as he did his delivery, he left. I can't start the stream until 8 o'clock because I now have foster kids in the house and they need to go to bed before we get started. You've taken the Warsaw to Hamburg job?
Yes.
Okay, let's go fetch it then. I will follow you. Oh wow, out of Warsaw garage and turn right for a change. Normally we turn left.
For some reason my wheel's not active, so I have to use the controller.
Okay. And we're going straight across here. I'm figuring I should probably investigating turning off the force feedback so I don't get so much juddering out of the wheel as we're driving.
That's the issue I'm having trying to step mine up. It's so tight, it doesn't, I mean...
Yeah. Oh, mine loosens off very much when I start playing ETS and ATS. So I get quite a free turn on the wheel. It's very, very stiff when I play Farm Sim, but if I start ETS and drop straight out of the game and then start Farm Sim, the wheel is very loose and comfortable. I haven't figured out how to configure the wheel at the moment.
I'm not going to use it for the farm sim. I like the controller better, but
Yeah,
I got the wheel for this. But
I kind of find the wheel natural. It's like flying aeroplanes. Flying aeroplanes with a joystick is much more natural than flying with a keyboard.
usually do better driving outside the vehicle too. So
I cannot do that in Truck Sim. I almost always do that in Farm Sim.
back on high-end racing games, was I get like motion sickness at times.
Yeah.
But if I'm outside the vehicle, it ain't so bad.
Now,
Right
yeah. Although, I took an extended look on what was it? The Maypole farm, which is a tiny little farm, and everywhere has trees overhanging.
I tried that one. You have to drive inside.
You have to drive inside the cab for that. Oh, that's kind of cool. We're on different loads. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Does anyone know where Binpin went tonight? Because he is a usual.
Showed him on his phone earlier.
I use a G29 with. Here we go. With the pedals, I do not have a gear shift on it. I'm also using Cytec heavy equipment side panel for some of the driving functions. Sorry, say the side panel I found is quite good. The steering wheel that came with it, I had it for a week playing Farm Sim only, and it failed quite spectacularly. And I called up the technical support, and they sent me a new one, which took 2 weeks to get to me. And I played with it for a week, and it failed precisely the same way as the first one did, which did not make me very happy. But I kept the side panel. I just trashed both the steering wheels. They're now clamped to a little wooden table so the kids can play with them, because that's all they're good for.
I was surprised how heavy the G29 wheel is.
I mean, the G29's a pricey little wheel. I got it when it was on sale.
I gave $210 for it and the pedals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the week before I decided to buy it, it was $350. And I was thinking, oh, that's too expensive. And then I think someone said, hey, it's on sale, $210. It's like, oh, yes, indeed, we'll have one of those.
Do they sell the side panel separately?
They do sell the side panel separately. It has no configuration software, so you have to, and it maps like a keyboard. You can declare it as an option on the game you're playing with. Farm Sim, it's automatically configured, but any other game you can just configure it as you need.
I seen an article the other day where Logitech's supposed to be working with FarmSim to come out with something.
Yes, well, that was the thing. Cytec did the original side panel and steering wheel in collaboration with Giants. I'm not sure whether it was Farm Sim 15 or Farm Sim 17, but their quality was quite frankly appalling by that time. I've had Cytec equipment in the past and it was very, very good, but more recently their equipment has got really, really bad. And then they got bought by Logitech, and Logitech was selling off the XS Cytec equipment. And from what I hear now, if you buy the side panel, it is a Logitech badged piece of equipment, and could very well be far better quality than the one I got. Press the right button. So, I mean, obviously, since my side panel works, I'm not in the market to buy a new one. But I would not say definitively that it's a badged purchase anymore, because it is now made and branded Logitech. And it could be that the steering wheels that come with it are okay as well, but I don't know.
I was amazingly shocked on how much weight is in the steering wheel and the pedals. I figured there'd be some lightweight piece of plastic, and it's not the case.
The pedals are lightweight, but I mean they're functional enough for farm sim. You don't need anything heavy. Also, with the Cytec equipment, there are two little joysticks on the steering wheel, which you can use for movement and panning the camera. So the problem is with using the G29, I've got nothing mapped for walking. So if I get out the tractor, I've got to use the mouse to turn around and WASD to move.
The Xbox controllers plugging right into and syncing right up the windows. It's just so easy to do that.
Right. Well, I'm actually for farm sim, I'm kind of cheating, because obviously the G29 is a PS4 controller as well, and farm sim detects it as a PS4 controller, so I can use the sort of triangle, square, circle, and X buttons. And I'll do that sometimes rather than reaching over for something else.
So it surprised me. I have a PS4, so that's why I got the PS4 version. But
right. I think the Xbox version is the G920.
I think so, yeah. Just need to get it figured out and get it set up. Every time I didn't turn my computer off last night, but every time I turned it off and on, it always functions. And took a nap and got up at 5, and here I was in a hurry to get everything set up, and then it didn't want to work, so I don't know what's up.
Uh-oh. Stop short. There we go.
Did you see the video that somebody posted on Discord?
Which one?
Realistic physics for the trucks?
No,
the video is by Squirrel. You can actually adjust the physics of the truck if you...
Oh, right, yeah.
Edit their panel. The trailer will sway like a real one, because they got it stiffened up to make it easier.
Yeah, I think... what was it? When I got back into Truck Sim, there was one of the patches where the trailers were all over the place. I mean, rocking and rolling like crazy, and that kind of got distracting looking out the side mirror. And all you can see is the side of the trailer just swaying backwards and forwards, and sort of kind of prefer it stiff. Because obviously...
Trying it out.
Yeah.
You activate it like an editor or a editor window, and then you can adjust certain things. It's nothing that's permanent. You can always set it back to work.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think on my solo profiles, I've got the brake force lowered, and for ETS, I've got the bad weather slider moved up a bit, so it rains a little bit more often when I'm playing solo. Obviously, for multiplayer, I'm streaming when I play multiplayer most of the time, and so it makes to have nice weather for your travels.
I haven't done a whole lot in ETS yet. I just basically I created a second account just for online, so there's no mods.
Right. Although I don't know that matters. It appears to me that the mods import regardless of whether you're using no matter which account you're using. It doesn't seem that the mods are specific to an account profile.
No, you have to go. I had to shut them off for this account. They're
Yes.
not loaded. They're still there, but they're not loaded.
Yeah, whenever I start this game up, I get a message saying, "Oh, these mods aren't going to load in." Click to continue, and so it's. I mean, it's no big. It's no bad thing. But for single player, I have rather than having the GPS panel open as I have now, I have just the information bit at the bottom that tells you ETA, time and distance, and I use the truck's GPS to show where I'm heading. And that's kind of a nice one. Then I use real real business names. So it's IKEA rather than whatever it is, IKEA. And Walmart rather than Walbert. And real gas station names. I don't.
ETS. Go ahead.
I use that for ETS and ATS. They're the same.
I've been trying to find a Kenworth like 108 or 200.
To be honest, I haven't been into the truck mods themselves. I know on one of Arthur's playthroughs before he got into multiplayer, he tried a couple, and they were a bit basic in their appearance, and it's sort of when a mod maker is good, you can look at the cab design and everything else and say, yeah, this is a good mod. But outside of that, it's sort of there's a lot that are sort of, well, it kind of looks okay, but I can do, I've seen better, so I'll use better.
Good ones, I've come across bad ones. The interiors really don't bother me because
Oh, you're driving from outside, yeah.
One of them had a line that floated. Something to do, I'm sure, with how the model's made, but it's cab over. And I found a couple that cab overs that ain't bad, but I just haven't been off on the Kenworth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would know the show. Back when I was a kid, there was a show called BJ and the Bear.
Yeah, no, I'm from the UK. That one never made it.
Yeah, it was a Kenworth cab over, and it's got a sleeper, and there's windows up there. It's kind of a neat looking truck.
I have seen, what was it, for ETS2, there is a snub nose truck, and I can't remember what model it was. It might have been a Scamel for all I know. But that looked kind of good, and the quality of the mod did appear to be of a good quality.
Did find one of the Kenworths on the Mod Hub site where we get our FS19 stuff. You had to try it out, but I did download it. Try to see what I can do with it.
But the thing, because most of my trucking playtime is multiplayer, you can't use mods on that anyway. You can use the DLC, but you can't use mods on multiplayer. So, for the most part, there's not a lot of point in downloading mods.
the time we get done with this, I've done more online than I have done in single player. I drove around a little bit in town, and I was getting tickets, and you know, I was speeding. I didn't see the speed limit sign, so I got to get used to that.
Oh, for ATS now, I have now done more trucking in my multiplayer profile than I have in my single player profile.
I enjoy ATS a lot. You know, this is nice. It's like the graphic game is like one step behind or something.
Yes, I mean the difference. I think the difference between the two, ETS has far more places to go. Plus the speed limit's slower. I mean, we're currently travelling round about 45, 50 miles an hour. Because they do everything in kilometres. So, yeah, we're not getting places very far, but also the cities are much closer together. So there's more places to visit and see. With ATS, it's the better looking game, I think, especially when you get out to Oregon and New Mexico. Those are very pretty states. They've done a very good job on those. Obviously, California not so much. But I think that's a case of when you release a game, you want content volume, and then when you release DLC, you can afford to take your time with content quality.
I think I have seen at least one DLC where they've added roads to the existing.
Oh, there's pro mods that adds a lot of European roads. There's also it's not a collection, but there are Mexico and the whole of America mods for ATS. But it's not
America, but he said it wasn't very good.
Oops.
The quality was very poor.
Sorry, say that again.
We was talking when Archer was on, and he was saying that the full U.S. map said it's not very good.
No, it's not. Pro mods do a very good job.
I got it, but I couldn't activate it because it wasn't updated to the last update.
Right, now your options there, are you using the Steam copy?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you right click on the game in your Steam tab and click on the properties and the beta tab, there's a drop down there that lets you select other versions. So when a new version of Truck Sim comes out, you can go there, select the drop down and select the previous version, and it'll backdate your update to the prior version, and then you can carry on using Pro Mods until you get notification from the guys at Pro Mods to say, yeah, we're updated to version 1.32. At which point you go back into Steam and say, I want the current version.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll see on my FS19 I was talking to you earlier, I have it on disk, so I can't.
Right.
So I can't uninstall it. So I just installed it on a different computer.
Right. Now with Farm Sim I've got it on Steam, so I can freely update it to 1.3 beta and backdate it to 1.2 when I feel like it.
I watched your video, and that was the reason I said, I want to try this. And I don't know what I was thinking. So I was thinking it was a mod. I think it's because I found it on Mod Hub.
Mm-hmm.
Going in like a mod, and I could just take it out. Well, I realized after the fact that no, that wasn't a mod. That was an update.
Yes. Yeah. If you're using the disc version, or if you bought Farm Sim from the Giants website, if you do the upgrade, you are stuck with Steam, because Steam has both versions. Actually, they have version 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 beta available, and I can go to the beta tab on FarmSim 19 and select the version I want. If I select 1.2, it'll remove all the 1.3 beta updates and return me back to the 1.2 version. And I'm going to have... Sorry, go ahead. Have I
the grass thing with the 1.3 beta?
Okay, on the Maypole farm, I planted a tree and put a blob of grass around it. I haven't played it long enough for the grass to grow.
As I noticed today, I was leveling ground after I placed the building. It paints grass now. So I'm wondering if that's when the grass will grow from that, or...
Oops. Sorry, I'm speeding. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, one thing I appreciate the content of your equipment, that it now not only gives you the silly icon, but it also tells you in words what you're carrying and the volume in litres and percentage. That's appreciated. I like that touch. As I said, don't know if the grass grows
I put
yet.
in like last week, I had to take back out.
Oh yeah, because someone did produce a mod for that.
So I had to take it out. Like, I noticed there was a word on top of it. I'm like, what's up? Because one's yellow and then one's
one's white. Yeah.
White. Up to just half the time, is that cotton or is that canola? Which one is that?
Yeah, I've gotten fairly good at the general crop icons. It's is it grass? Is it hay? Is it straw?
Those straws got V's in it.
Yeah, I
have straight lines.
I just get it all wrong, and yeah, it's just sort of.
I do. I keep my book laying on my desk so I can look it up. I've been trying to find a map that I like, because the ones they release I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I think Marwell Manor shows off the capabilities of FarmSim 19 very well. I mean, if you wanted to say this is what this game can look like, it's a beautiful map. The problem I have with it is the fields are huge, and yeah, it takes 2 to 3 hours to do anything.
Did the one field that comes with the farm?
Yep.
And I didn't realize how big it was and stuff. It didn't look this big when I started.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is all the fields you start with need to be ploughed. They have need ploughed status and they need to be limed. One of them has barley ready to harvest, so you can get on with that and make some income immediately. But the biggest field you own is cultivated ready to go. Now you can delay that and spend 5 to 10 hours ploughing it and then liming it and then seeding it, or you can just say, I'll take the production hit and I'll just seed it right away so that it's in production, and I'm not delaying time. What I ended up doing was I harvested the barley field 15, and as soon as that was done, you can sell that to make money. I then planted, while that was running, I got one of the other tractors out and I planted field 18 just as is, and it's got at least a level of fertilization, so that wipes out your penalties from not being limed and not being ploughed. And then I took time out to plough and lime the barley field, because obviously I needed to plough it in order to plant it, type of thing. So once that was done, I seeded it, and that was good. That was a full yield. But then once I'd harvested the big field, I could go back and plough and lime it. But I felt, taking time out to plough and lime it right up front was kind of That's too long for me to wait before it's producing.
Did find one map I like. It's called, and it's a 4x map, so it's a big map. Some big fields, which I don't mind because they're kind of open.
Yep.
And it's like a rolling hills, kind of like a Midwest.
Yeah, there's one that's called Rolling Hills by DR Modding, and that also is a it's a very natural feeling US map.
I found a Rolling Hills one, but I couldn't on it.
It's I mean it has issues. The guy did a lot of development up to Christmas, so he could release his sort of first pass pre-release version of it on Christmas Eve. But he had, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't done any further development on it. So there's no doors on any of the barns. There's one sell point that doesn't appear in the PDA, so you can't find out what the price of anything is before you sell it. I don't think you can sell milk. I don't think you can sell bales. I don't think you can sell eggs. So it's kind of in a limited state, and I think until all of that gets revisited and he releases a more complete version, it's not in a good playable state right now, but it is a very, very pretty map and very natural feeling for US.
I liked it a lot, but I cleared out a field because I wanted to put my farm up in a corner.
Yep.
Place anything on like half the map, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this one. I like Michigan. I mean, I wouldn't mind Michigan if it wasn't so flat, but I'm sure that's how Michigan is. Where they're at, they said they did. I mean, it's got a couple fields have got some rolls to them, but basically it's flat.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very flat map. The railroad is unrealistic in that, it's got 90-degree turns that the train takes at 60 miles an hour. And I don't know that there's much in the way of stuff to do with the train. There's sort of one place you can transfer stuff onto it, but I don't think there's a natural sell point for the train.
Well, I watched their streams at night because they're usually on either farming or doing ATS, and looking at trying to get into the script of the train and at least slow it down.
Okay,
so it's
yeah.
Not doing hard constantly. But that's the thing. They got a version 3 of that map. They're waiting on.
Yes, they're waiting on the 1.3 release.
Doors, all the doors are on. All the lights are on. I think they've even changed part of the map now that it's rebased, like on one end of the map.
Yeah.
Upgrades to it.
I mean, it's a nice map. It works well for multiplayer. I don't think it works real well for single player. I'll take that back. The problem with farms with big fields, if you can only afford small equipment, is it can keep a single player occupied for hours getting a job done. The downside is it doesn't make a very good stream, because if I stream for 2 hours, I'm going to be harvesting this field, and that's the only task I'm going to get done this stream, because it's going to take me at least 2 hours to harvest a field. It's something I'd noticed on the Rolling Hills map. I did an extended first look. I can't remember whether it was a sort of 3.5 hour to 5 hour stream, something like that. I bought the biggest harvester, just one of them. I bought a big tractor and tipper, and I bought the field closest to the starting farm location. And I set the worker off on that field, and it took a good 2 hours to harvest the field on its own. And all I was doing was driving the tractor between the harvester and the sell point. And that doesn't really make for an action-packed, interesting stream, I can chat. I can talk for ages, and I can shoot the breeze with the viewers. But what you're not really able to do is lots of different things, and that's where something like a small farm like Maypole Farm is great, because a field is so small. I can get the harvester out, I can harvest a field. I can then get a tractor out and cultivate that field. I can go off to another field and fertilize it, and I'm doing multiple different jobs, and each job's taking me about 15 minutes, and I can do it on my own.
I gotta admit, for Michigan, before we merged with Arthur, 2 hours we'd harvest and plow.
Yeah. And that's all we got done in the 2 hours. Normally we just harvest and transport, and at the end of the 2 hours we'd spend the next couple of hours cultivating and planting and fertilizing. And then it's a kind of, okay, well, we're done this week, let's go off to next week, and next week, oh, it's all grown, let's harvest it all again. And
I admit, on the Cloverfield map I'm playing on right now, I ain't modded money in it, because oh, you disappeared on me.
I did. Oh, hang on. God of Thunder has been kicked. What happened?
Oh, no.
That's weird. I'll slow down. So on the Cloverfield map.
They're like 2.2 million, 2.7 million. That's a large field, and I'm like, there's no way you can start out with 1.25.
Right.
I put money in, but I also put it as a loan.
So
it's not like I just modded money.
Right.
Because you can go in there and give yourself, like I gave myself 5 million, and then I put on the loan. I added the 5 million to the loan, so I'm being charged for it.
Yeah.
The bank got a $5 million loan.
Now that's the thing I noticed. We've been talking about the Alpine map. What's it? Alpine Panorama and Northern Sea, or whatever the full name is, and also the new Bartleshaven, I think it is. And they're good-sized maps with very big fields. The Alpine map just has tons of grass and 5 arable fields. But it doesn't matter which start mode you can have. If you start with New Farmer or you start with Farm Manager, you get all of the starting equipment, you get all of the starting buildings. What you don't own on Farm Manager is the land. So you don't own the starting farm, but all of the farm is placed. And it's, because it's in-game placeables, you can sell them and have more money.
There was another map.
Is it Western Australia?
Yeah.
And I think that one you get all of the equipment and all of the buildings. And I think on New Farmer, don't you get all of the fields as well?
I'm not sure. I usually don't go into New Farm. I usually do Farm Manager.
But if you do Farm Manager, you still get all of the equipment and all of the buildings. You just don't own any of the fields, and you only have 1.25 million.
Yeah, but the fields are cheap. Dirt cheap.
Yes.
Cheap. I think the one right there to the, if you headed out the driveway to the right, was only like $600,000.
Yes.
I was extremely shocked.
But as I said, they're fields that you can either play multiplayer, and I think with Arthur's stream that we do on Fridays, the merging of the farms last week actually helped, because it meant we had more stuff to do and it took us less time because we had 2 harvesters to harvest, we had multiple planters to plant, and so
on Michigan I think you need at least 3 to 4 people per farm.
Yes. And that's where we've been multiplaying since 17, and I can't remember the map we started on, but we ended up on South Mountain Creamery, and it's everybody on one farm with other, assigning tasks, if you like. But it was a case of, I need 3 people to harvest. Okay, fine, me, him, and him type of thing. But once you've been harvesting for half an hour, you can say, okay, I'm done with harvesting, who wants to take over? And you can move around like that.
That's where I think Arthur could make his stream maybe a little more fun for him, is if he jumps around to the different...
Yeah. Now, with when we went to Ravenport, we only had 4 farms with typically 3 to 4 people per farm. So we were able to keep the tasks running and do multiple jobs, and it felt like you were progressing. And then when we went to Michigan Farm, we had 8 different farms and 1 to 2 people per farm. And no, with the size of fields, it just felt like you were never achieving anything. You weren't making enough money because it took you 2 sessions to get a field done.
I was watching the first ones, and I didn't do the first couple of streams, but often people after the first couple of episodes.
But I think, because I sold my farm last week and rolled into Arthur's farm, that now puts 4 or 5 people on the same farm.
But back in the beginning, he had a lot more people in the stream.
That's true, yeah.
The second episode, it was down to the basic people like you, myself, Whitebeck, Ben Penn, Jeremy. That's about it,
Yes.
Now, if he kept the 12 to 14 people,
I still think I still think for the number of farms we tried to start, we were overworked for the number of people per farm.
4 probably would have been a better, or 5 maybe. But.
Yeah. And maybe you want to do specialist farms. So you have one guy, one farm that does cereal, one farm that does corn, sunflower, one farm that does root crops, one farm that does animals.
I'd never thought to do what.
And everybody has stuff to do. And if you are an animal farm, you're not growing anything, but you're purchasing straw off of Arthur, because he's growing corn and wheat and barley and stuff, and straw comes off, and so he has an in-game sell point that's not the actual sell point.
I would have never thought to do what those guys did, where they co-op.
Oh yeah.
Started working together. Get it down to a sign, then they're flipping fields.
Yes. Well,
yeah. Sell it.
And that's, some people see that as cheating. Because, when you buy a field with the value of the field. So if the field has crop in, you should be buying the field at an inflated price because there's crop there that you can take off.
Right, yeah,
and then if you sell if you sell an empty field, it's going to be less valuable and you're going to make less money on the sale. But that said, with Farm Sim 17, I kind of did similar. What I was doing was I would, at the beginning of a year, and I'm playing with seasons on Lawfold, so at the beginning of the year I look at all the fields in the area and I say, okay, I want to buy that one, and that one. And I'll do contracts on those 3 fields. 1, to reduce the price of the field, but 2, when I buy it, it's ploughed, it's 3 levels of fertilization, it's got a crop on it, and I'm buying the field and I'm going to harvest the crop that I've tended and got paid for while doing it. Because I'm doing the contracts, I'm getting paid to plough it, I'm getting paid to plant it, I'm getting paid to fertilize it, and then I'm buying it and taking the profits from the crop.
I'll try to buy a shop here in Hamburg, and then I'll re-enter the server and meet up with you.
Okay. I honestly don't know where I am at the moment. But,
I'm just coming into Hamburg.
okay. Is that where we're heading? Oh, I slowed down, so you didn't log off then. I will speed up my truck. And, oh, I'm only 40 minutes out, so that's about 2 minutes drive time.
I was going to reset and try to catch up, but I was almost, closer to the point than the.
Yeah. No, that's fine. If you
have good internet until 5 o'clock in the morning, they decided to reset the routers.
Oh, I've what's it? Because of my data plan, I've had to change my internet account, set up. So as part of what's it? Changing to an unlimited data plan, I'm also getting a speed boost as well. Now, I don't know how well that, how much I need that.
Yeah, I have like 105 down. Second queue.
Yeah, I think I'm bumping up to about 250 down.
Comcast isn't.
I will.
Used to be a lot better when it was in sight.
Hamburg discovered. Yay.
What was funny about it, the day Comcast took over, officially took over control of the network,
Yeah.
speeds got cut in half.
Yeah,
Inside really restricted.
I've bounced around a lot. I think we started off with Comcast, and I got really annoyed with their quality. I would frequently have no internet for a couple of days at a time, and it's sort of, this is not good. I'm a computer programmer, and I need to be able to access my employer's network from home. And if you're if I can't access the internet, then that's a problem. And so I ended up, for many, many years, I switched to DSL. Now, it's not quite as fast as cable, but I found it to be incredibly reliable. And for many years, I had I was living a couple of yards from the switch, and so the actual degrading of performance that you get with DSL wasn't an issue for me. But when we moved to our current location, I ran with DSL for still a number of years because I really didn't need anything faster. I needed reliability. And all of a sudden we went a couple of months where the internet connection was up and down, up and down, up and down. And I was sort of, no, I can't be doing this. I need reliability before I need performance. And you're not delivering anymore. And so I looked around, and it's sort of, well, I can either go satellite, or I'm going to have to go bite the bullet and go back to Comcast. And so I went back to Comcast, and I actually found that their quality has vastly improved from when I used it about 15 years ago.
Yeah, I just hear they send them like a reset every night, it seems like, so.
I haven't had that problem.
It's like they do updates. They do the same thing. Something that just
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I've got my network up 24/7. I probably have to reset it about once a week. Okay, dude, you're good. I'm going to reverse through you now. Oops. I think I missed that turn. I'm going to have to pull forwards.
Okay, now to get back in, I just gotta log all the way out and log
Yes.
back in.
Yeah, you will have to.
Just bought the garage here in Hamburg.
Okay, let's see how that works.
So I don't mind. I got like $19 million.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have quite that amount of money.
Oh, I used for the online. I used a mod to just get the vehicles ready, so I didn't have to sit there and try to drive through it again.
I mean, I'm perfectly happy running as is. I'll make money as I make money. I'll make experience and I'll ding a level. I wonder what I can get this time. Ooh, I don't have much. I might go eco driving for another level.
I just did it to my first